as we were talking inside, it almost seemed as though you didn't want that ruling to happen. Can you just clarify what took place in that?
I, as a Crown, have no position to take on whether the judge decides one way or the other. Mr. Little has a right to have the matter of his incarceration for not paying the fines determined by a court of law in accordance with the law. I wanted to make sure that there was nothing said by the Crown on the record that misled the court as to its legal obligations. It has to inquire into his ability to pay the fine. It's a question of not, I refuse to pay the fine, but I can't pay the fine. And it was very difficult for the Crown to get Mr. Little to say those last words, I can't pay the fine. And ultimately he never did. He continued to confuse the issues by saying, well, I refuse to pay the fine. Nobody stands in any doubt as to whether he refused or not. The question is, and the only question before the court is, did he have the assets, financial assets? The Supreme Court of Canada and the New Brunswick Court of Appeal have both said that a court, when considering a committal order under the criminal code for non-payment of fine, must inquire as to the economic circumstances of the offender. And it was for that reason that I tried to lay out the law as I understood it for His Honor's consideration. I wasn't advocating whether he go to jail or not go to jail. That is a decision of Mr. Little's. But I don't want to see him go to jail on the basis of a principle that would have been wrong in law had the court concentrated on his continued insistence that he was refusing to pay the fine.
Mr. Ward, the new charge today is about failing to comply with the judge's order to file the 2002 returns.
Yes.
Mr. Little stated clearly that he has not filed returns in the years following as well. Are there further charges expected for failure to file returns for 2003 to 2009? 2009 deadlines, I mean 2008, sir.
With regard to any further charges, other than the ones that are in court now, that is a matter for the Canada Revenue Agency. PPSC does not, Public Prosecution Service of Canada, does not lay charges. If CRA decides that they want to charge them, then that's something that we would consider at the appropriate time.
There hasn't been any discussion with the Public Prosecution Service about
No.
Mr. Ward, Pierre Little from the Quebec Chronicle Telegraph.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure.
Will you be prosecuting more Roman Catholics in this country for refusing to pay taxes for funding abortion?
I'm not sure that the religion of the offender is of any moment to the Public Prosecution Service of Canada. Anybody who does not file their tax returns when and as required by law will be subject to prosecution if the charge is laid and if PPSC agrees to go ahead with it.
Has the Prime Minister's office asked you to prolong this case by not putting him in jail?
I have not been in receipt of anything from the Prime Minister's office.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ward.
Okay.